Don't be toxic parents. In every family relationship, there are different forms of interaction that are sometimes healthy and sometimes not so healthy. We inherit our parents' beliefs and values. We unquestionably acquire many of their positive and negative values, whether through conscious or unconscious actions. As we grow and learn, we develop beliefs about the world based on our experiences and our interactions with others, particularly parents, teachers, friends and others close to our world. These interactions can be very nurturing, loving and supportive, thus creating a very positive worldview, or they could be negative, hateful, and demeaning interactions, creating a very negative worldview. Negative parents often refuse the solutions offered by their children and fail to perceive even a positive intention offered. You may receive constant lessons from your negative parents by complaining about everything. Dealing with negative parents damages your relationship with them and with others. The brain registers and remembers negative events much more easily than positive ones. Psychologists refer to this as negativity bias, which has been built into our brains based on millions of years of evolution when it comes to dealing with threats. Our ancestors lived in difficult environments. They had to collect food while avoiding deadly obstacles. So our brains are hardwired to look for the bad things and look for some form of threat hidden in them. So we focus more heavily on the negative things. We have an average of 5 negative reviews to 1 positive. Thus, the negativity effect is the brain's tendency to be impacted more by negative events than positive ones. Acting harshly with your children, which includes verbal or physical threats, frequent yelling, and beatings, along with immediate negative consequences for a specific behavior, can lead to your children having emotional and behavioral problems. Research shows that our brains have evolved to react much more strongly to negative experiences than to positive ones. It kept us safe from harm. But in the modern day, where the physical danger is far less, it often just gets in the way of our progress. Children may experience anxiety, depression, shame, or other problems when parent-child relationships are conflicted. Negative news impacts us much more than positive ones. Now, criticism affects us much more than praise. Authoritarian parenting styles can also lead children to be obedient and dependent, but their children are likely to be insecure in life choices, lacking social competence and self-esteem. Authoritarian parents focus more on obedience, discipline, control, rather than interacting with their children, teaching them how to make decisions. Children raised in authoritarian families tend to depend on their parents, especially girls, be more submissive, less socially adept, less confident, less intellectually curious, and less committed to personal fulfillment. Prolonged negative thinking habits diminish the brain's ability to think, reason, and form memories. The way parents act has a very strong effect on their children. If you are a confident and enthusiastic person, your family will surely notice your positivity. But if you are constantly insecure or uncomfortable, your family notices it too, and parent-child relationships can, and over time, become very strained. Most parents are blamed for their children's behavior because they are the first to be seen and become the basic role model in the family. Every human being tends to focus more on the negative while trying to understand the world. For this reason, parents need to be very careful in leading their children to a healthy and happy life, avoiding negativism. These days, there is much more pressure on children and even more on parents, with both parents more likely to have jobs to support their families. Family time has almost become a chore. When parents come home after a grueling day at work, the easiest way to deal with their children is to tell them to watch TV, play video games, or let them surf the internet to keep them away from any contact. Without much thought, parenting style will have a big effect on how children are handled. Parents should be aware of all the different media platforms that currently influence their children, can be harmful and weaken the family bond. Being a parent is exhausting work. It takes constant effort to try to reach your kids, teach them, and lead them in the right direction so they don't make a young person troubled. There are some very important reasons to use positive child discipline instead of yelling and beating them up when they do something you don't approve of. There are also many other forms of negative discipline that fall into this category of things we should not use when trying to teach our children what to do and what not to do. Some examples of bad parents that should be avoided at all costs. Scolding your child excessively. Disapproval of all his actions will leave a negative mark on him. Lack of support, especially during his stressful times. Not respecting or seeking to understand their feelings. Comparing your child to another, positively or negatively. Don't be proud of your accomplishments, however insignificant they may be. Disciplining the child in front of everyone has serious consequences for his future. Be a bad example. Your child will repeat their habits and behaviors, whether positive or negative. Retention of affections. Not being affectionate or partnering with your child can make him an insensitive person. Not setting rules is a big flaw. If your child doesn't learn to be disciplined, he will suffer outside the home environment. Being overprotective will make your child afraid of taking risks, from making new friends to trying new activities. As a child, removing toxic people from your life can seem almost impossible, especially if it's your parent, unless you take action. However, it will be much more difficult to correct the emotional and psychological damage that was done to you during your childhood. Toxic parents put their needs before their children. Here are some behaviors of toxic parents. They are self-centered. They don't think about their children's needs or feelings. They do not allow children to express negative emotions. They scare even their adult children with blackmail. They play the victim and use the money to control their children. They are harshly critical. They always put their feelings first. They have no limits. They are emotionally maladjusted. They exaggerate or create drama. They seek control of all situations. They make toxic jokes about their children. Being a parent has never been an easy task. We know that. It is the duty of parents to ensure that their children grow up to be responsible and morally upright individuals. There are many positive and negative styles and techniques in raising a child, and one of them is permissive, which can be disastrous. Permissive parents may make comments like, "I never say no to my child," or "My child chooses what he wants to do." Permissive parents transfer decision-making to the children. Not controlling or regulating your children's behavior allows them to go beyond the limits of acceptable conduct, and they end up having serious behavioral problems. And, when faced with stressful situations, these children are more likely to resort to the use of aggression. It is a fact that children who feel loved, supported and connected to their parents are much more likely to be happy as adults. But, like everything in life, affection needs to be dosed. Raise your children to have positive attitudes in life. Assess your own attitude. Look at your child's experiences. Help increase your child's self-esteem. Avoid using negative labels for it. Teach your child to be optimistic. Be an example of optimism and confidence. The golden rule is to do to your children what you wish your parents had done to you.